So I might have lost track here. Which map are we playing now since we're
Titan
skipping
Duel.
the grand finals? Titan Duel.
Mhm.
All right.
We are back to Titan Duel. Although admittedly the one game I did cast in Titan Duel was on like 6-7 minutes in, and that was not very long. It was a Fealthas and Forever first game. And Fealthas won! And that was like, when I got there they were kind of even, but Fealthas was getting an advantage, and then Fealthas won very soon after. Now we're on to Grand Finals. I should probably point that out in the channel.
And so this is a best of 5 then.
No, it's two best.
Nope.
Well, it's best of 3.
Oh, that's right. That's
if
right.
Klon wins, it's another best of 3.
That's right.
Right, so now we just need to get them started, and then we will be good.
So you said that you picked Clone to win originally. Do you have any predictions for the matchup? Maybe any idea about what score we might see?
Against Yogg? Or probably be 2-1s. I'd be
2-1s?
surprised if it wasn't even.
A pair of 2-1s. All right.
Either that, or another possibility would be Yogg winning 1 and then Klon winning 4 in a row. Like just Yogg winning.
Sure.
That's what kind of thing is like maybe Yogzototh will play. Because I mean, Klon probably knows how Yogzototh is playing, but they might have not been paying attention. They've been playing a lot of other games, so it might take them a game to figure out what Klon is up to, or Yogzototh is up to, and then afterwards, once they have Yogzototh downloaded, then they'll be able to just like outplay them in the economic game. Because Klon is really good at the defensive economic game. Like where Fealthas was kind of falling apart, where it came to the reclaim, where it came to not throwing units away. Klon, as a matter of habit, tends not to throw units away, and tends to reclaim quite a lot. So I think they might take a game to actually figure out Yogzototh's style, and then probably be able to deal with that. Although, maybe Yogzototh might be able to get in sometime during the second one, but I'm guessing it'll probably be... I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened.
Yeah, see, I'm really torn. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in Clone here, but I feel like Yogzototh has a really good chance of picking up at least one of these matches, which is all he needs to do to win the tournament, right?
Sorry?
If Yogzototh wins just one of these matches, he takes first place, isn't that right?
Correct, yes. Yeah, if Yogzototh gets 2 something, they win. They
Sure,
win 2
okay.
games in
the same
either...
match.
Yeah, in the same match, in the same round. But not just 2 games. So yeah, have to get 2-1 or 2-0.
Right. I don't know. I think there's a strong possibility that he'll take at least one of these.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, they'll probably take the first one. I mean, Titan Duel is actually a bit of a harder mount to do that psychological tactic on, but it's still possible to put that pressure.
See, I think of it as being a more open map, so I would say that Yogzototh's strategy might have an advantage here.
That's what I mean. Like, there's
okay.
room for that pressure that Yogzototh loves to do.
I see.
So I'm in agreement. Okay, so we have... Well, Klon's here. Why are they not playing? I guess they're waiting for... They're thinking Fealthas might be coming in, but no. Fealthas is apparently just left. Oh well. Like I said, forfeitures permitted. Though Kane may give you a box of eyelashes. But I would like to know. We'd like to know if you're forfeiting. Okay. Oh, Yogzototh apparently mostly plays FFAs. Interesting. According to Skazi.
Yeah, it's true. At least in my assessment. Yeah, I don't see him in the teams room very much, but definitely in free-for-all all the time.
I'm not
So he's
sure that
probably
would explain
loving
anything.
these macro maps then.
Yeah, that would help. But I'm just thinking, what would you have in free... Like, FFA, I could see really helping your defensive skills.
True.
And I guess comeback skills. But in terms of the psychological terror thing, I don't know. I think that's Yogg stuff. I think that's just Yogg.
Yeah.
Because you don't really... I don't know that you fight a lot in this. Because
mean-
you don't want to make everyone too annoyed with you.
Yeah, exactly. In my experience, it's just the opposite. You sort of hunker down, wait for someone to attack you, take their reclaim, and try to escalate until you have just a game-winning level of eco. Not that I'm very good at free-for-all, but that's my understanding. So I wouldn't really expect it to translate well here, but I mean, apparently one way or another it has.
So that being said, the question is whether or not they can actually make that work on Klon, and that. Oops, it's not. It's losers, not winners.
You know, on second thought, I'm not even sure that the Yogzototh's experience in free-for-all even factors into this, because he's playing in such almost the opposite style of a free-for-all.
That's what I mean. Because a free-for-all, why would you be attacking? Why would you be provoking everyone to attack you, knowing, oh hey, they're vulnerable or they're pissing me off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hey, everyone, they're getting big. Go kill them.
So maybe he's just actually an independently strong player.
Probably.
Regardless of playing free-for-all. That's what that hat means to me.
I mean, I did see them play free-for-all once. The one thing I casted, which was they were playing free-for-all with. Well, okay, it was fairly weak players, mind you. Well, Honu was pretty good. But it was like Honu, Ravate, and Parzival during Parzival's little thing last weekend, and that was a mess to begin with organizationally. But that aside, I mean that can happen. But Yogzototh just managed, basically got rid of Honu, knowing Honu was a threat, and then basically used double the economy of everyone else to win.
Just on that note, I would say keep an eye on Honu. I played him, I think, in my first round this tournament, and I went 2-1 against him. He's 1430 elo at the moment, but he still managed to take one off against me. And he's already beaten me once in 1v1, and he's only been playing for, I mean, maybe a month or so. So I think,
wow,
definitely an up-and-comer, I would say.
TA veteran, I suppose. Something I'm curious what they've done.
That's what I understand.
Wait, they are actually a TA veteran?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
And StarCraft 2 player. Experienced RTSer in general.
Okay. That is not surprising then. Alright, so we have light vehicle from Klon, Yogzototh not yet choosing. Oh, never mind, light vehicle. So again, another light vehicle mirror, as is common on this map.
Exciting. I played hovers on here a little bit ago.
During the tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how'd that
Against Horus. Well, it worked out pretty well for me.
Oh. I mean, you did win, so.
But the more typical light vehicle matchup this time.
And Yogg early Mason. Wow, okay, they're going for early economy or what? Early Mason to Dart. Klon playing it a bit more aggressive. Mason to Scorchers. Well, Dart to Mason to Scorchers. I guess Yogg is concerned about Klon being more aggressive. I mean, Klon's not known for being super aggressive.
I would still say he's taking an economic focus here. He's building 3 Scorches and then another Mason, which feels kind of fast to me. More of an eco focus.
Yeah, that is a thing to worry about. But I suppose, is Yogg going to be able to harass? I don't think so.
I would say that demonstrates a bit of confidence on Klon's part here. Quite a bit of confidence, because, I mean, you're already so vulnerable to the Scorcher Rush on this map in general, but if you've built 2 Masons, you know, that's 280, I guess, metal that you don't have in Scorchers to help defend. So, I mean, going so economic on a map that's sort of characterized by early Scorcher Rushes is making a bit of a statement, I think.
Although it may backfire just with this Dart alone, let alone with Scorches.
Absolutely. And here again, we see that classic Gambit.
Good defender placement. That was wonderful defender placement. That was where it panned out.
Headshot.
Like, you ever see that Gambit? Boom. Or we don't, because Klon just said no. But I think Klon would generally say no to that sort of thing. At least on a map like this. Comet Catcher, I'd say it's kind of 50-50, but on a map like this, which we'll probably find out pretty soon, but in a map like this, it's probably going to be much more even.
And there it was.
Klon was actually advancing, and then they still won. Well, it's 2-on-1, but still.
Even trade
worked out. Actually, they could have pulled back that one Scorcher probably a little bit early, and then it would have spread the damage, and that would have been even better. I don't know if it would affect anything. I think it might, actually. That might actually become problematic in the next fight. I guess Klon advances right now. If they had 2 Scorchers, that would have been a nicer thing to have. Or 3 Scorchers, as the third one would have been coming up right now. Nope. Klon, what are you doing? You don't tend to do that. I don't know you to throw units away. I guess they weren't paying attention. Now they know.
Overcommitted a bit to the what would you call that? Like a poke, I guess.
Yeah, it was a poke.
I'm always curious to
Really
see
young.
how experienced players expand on this map because I'm always at a loss. It feels like anywhere I go leaves somewhere else undefended, and so I'm always paranoid when I play on this map. I tend to either overbuild defenses or keep my army too close to my base. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this.
That's an interesting thing. It looks like they vary. Although Yogzototh is expanding in a way that I think is more typical, where it's expanding in all directions.
Yeah, this is what I see pretty frequently, what Yogzototh is doing. You have the commander go along one direction, the north, and then constructor heading towards the corner.
And then build
Which is
defenses
really
with
logical.
everything.
But then possibly he's giving up control of the center, and I think I'm seeing Clone head more towards the center than up the sides, but that remains to be seen.
No, Clone's kind of doing the same thing, just a little bit slower. The commander hasn't really moved forward. They're just getting up the defenses and then going. But it looks like Clone's probably going to try to get to the north.
We should see the commanders meet up then.
Alright, Beam Laser support commander versus an unupgraded support commander.
Wow, look at how badly Clone is e-stalling right now.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That,
This is really going to compound too, because Yogzototh is doing great with his eco. He's even got his caretakers ready.
I'm really surprised because there was a bunch of queued solar plants and one of them is actually not built.
He might have busted his queue.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, now he's building caretakers he doesn't really even need. I mean, he needs energy more than that caretaker for sure.
That's gonna fall apart. I mean, good unit usage that might be able, like, especially in this fight here with the 5 Scorchers versus the 4 Scorchers that's happening in the center of the map, that's gonna be the thing I think that'll really decide how Clone's gonna be able to deal with the stall. If they pull it off, that'll buy them enough time to stabilize. Assuming they actually are stabilizing. Which they don't seem to be. And they're not gonna win this fight. This is gonna
Not with this round
apart.
like that. Ouch.
Like,
Should have
like
a
I
bit of
said-
reclaim here, though.
They do, yes, that's true. But still, like I said, I really think that Yogzototh does have a good chance of taking the first match. Before Clone manages to get wise to what's going on. And this, okay, that Scorcher's in deep. That's got it all. It can just attack. It can go nuts. And Yogzototh refuses to do so. Nope, Yogzototh is just keeping that Scorcher there.
Just hanging out.
Not even gonna attack that solar plant. Okay, there we go. About time. Which is actually a big deal. Every solar plant down is a huge problem. That just bottlenecks Clone even more.
Uh-oh. 1,000 metal worth of Scorchers heading in to Clone space now. There's really nothing in position to defend against this.
Yeah, there's 2 Lotuses, so if they attack down here, that's going to be a problem. Not a
I don't
permanent
think
one.
he will.
but
No,
still
it looks
will.
like he's trying to give... Yep. He's just trying to slip right in through the front door. I think this is the end of this
Strange way
game.
putting it. Yeah. Well, the Lotuses did something, but yeah, there's nothing here. That factory's going to go down in a sec.
Oh! Still the factory goes down, but he lost... Oh, no.
Okay, so first match goes to Yogzototh. Not surprising. Clone hopefully will... Best thing I'd recommend is to watch the replay, like watch it at 5 times speed or something, just to see what Yogzototh did, and then go to the next match.
Yeah.
Like, don't go right away. If Clone plays the next one right away, I think they're gonna lose.
So how did that happen? Can we give it the breakdown real quick? I think a big part was Clone's E-stall, of course.
I think the entire thing was Clone's E-stall. They didn't have an army to deal with Yogzototh. They had a slightly smaller army with one engagement, the 5 versus 4 engagement, and they didn't quite position it right, so it ended up compounding that problem. Yogzototh had a large enough army, it wasn't a big deal, and Clone didn't have the chance to reclaim at that point. They couldn't. I mean, they didn't have enough energy to make use of it.
He couldn't even use his mechs metal. Yeah,
No.
and the level of energy he had like 10 energy per second, so he was effectively capped at about half of Yogzototh's income from a very early point in the game. So
Yeah, and then
it really was the solar eco.
I think that basically just started everything. So, game 2 of Grand Finals will be played on a map of Clone's choosing, which looks like it will be Eye of Horus. Indeed, it will be. So we are going to be moving on to that, which is a map we have seen a fair amount. It's a very popular map, especially with the more macro-oriented players. And to no real surprise, Game 2 of Iron Horus.
So we might see a little extra focus on energy production from Klon this time.
Yeah, assuming Klon is paying attention. Assuming they aren't getting tired or nervous or something. I mean, it's probably... What time is it now? It's like 8 for me, which means it's about 3 in the afternoon. No, Klon's further east. Like 4 in the afternoon for Klon, I think? 4 or 5 in the like 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, something like that. I think so. So that is... Wait, no, it's okay. Cannibal thought Klon was listening to the stream. No, Klon just knows what's going on. They know themselves. They're self-aware. They're sentient, you see. Not sure if you're familiar with this thing called sentience. Okay, I'm being way too sarcastic. I'll stop. Alright, Klon going over the southeast position again! Okay, they clearly didn't learn from that last Eye of Horus game. Either that, or they had some plan they didn't quite manage to execute last time, but did you see that one?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Just the very tail end of it, maybe.
Yeah, it was the one between Klon and Yurga. And
no, I didn't.
Klon almost lost. But they ended up pulling it back. They ended up defending well enough and managing to make some comebacks. And basically, there was this big joke about the Maginot line because they had this massive defense and then it just kept going around. Like, they were in the north, but still, this massive defense, and Yurga kept going around it. Every single time, they kept going around it. And Klon could not secure, in this case, the northeast, because they were the northwest start. They could not secure the northeast ever until the very end, and then they finally turned it around. But they once again started in a corner. And it's
interesting.
Cloaky. Huh.
Cloaky. You know, I really agree with Cloaky here. I think the main reason...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Cloaky's fine here.
For the hills, because you can restrict access to light vehicles so easily by controlling these bottlenecks, but the same isn't true for Cloaky bots, of course. I'm also interested by this sort of perennial dilemma that you have, whether to spawn in the center slot here or on one of the sides. There's, I mean, so many trade-offs with either. I like how Klon chose what I would say more defensively oriented position in the southeast, and then Yogzototh, I would say, has a more aggressive position, looking for some rapid expansion, coupled with his aggression strategy, probably.
Most likely, it's that Klon is... Well, Klon's got their energy up. They're actually setting that up properly. I mean, Klon is a pretty good defensive player, so I'll give them that. It's just... Sure. I guess they're kind of lucky that Yogg did go for light vehicles, because it makes that so much easier to defend than it would be otherwise. True.
Very true. Yeah, this is definitely going to play to Klon's advantage if he's looking to sort of lock down these bottlenecks.
Not to mention, Klon's going to be rushing up. Looks like they're going to the northwest. And from there, vehicles can't, but bots can go around that crater near the geothermal plant to get to the back of the base. Yes, allowing for another attack vector, which light vehicles can't easily deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So Klon has a lot more in the way of attack options than Yogzototh does.
Yeah, that's a good observation. And we're about to see that right now, I think. Looks like these glaives will be heading over that small pass.
They're going to be heading towards it. If they start idling, I don't know what to say anymore. If they start idling, then the tournament's over. There we go. Okay, they kept going. The tournament can continue.
Ooh, a couple of Scorchers coming into Klon's base.
Oh shit, that
looking for the factory dive.
The factory's dead.
Nothing there to defend. Oh, this glaive isn't going to help out very much. Oh no, Klon. Oh, buddy. Oh.
Like I said, factory's dead. Now, granted, there are 2 glaives going... Oh, no, these Scorchers are in position. Oh, no, they're getting out of position. So, 2 glaives. That defender can still die. Because the glaives will get rid of the defender, because the defender won't reload in time.
Looking for the one hero glaive to equalize here?
That's all that Klon has. That's
all that Klon has.
Well, not quite. Actually, Klon's going to be able to rebuild pretty quick.
Okay, all right. And he does have a constructor here. He'll be able to reclaim.
And they have enough energy to make reclaim work.
But he's going to be so far behind.
Okay, no, the hero glaive died.
He's definitely going to give it the effort, but I just...
That was a huge blow. Actually, you know what? I don't know. It was a blow, but look at Clone's economy. It's not that terrible, especially with the reclaim the factory gives. They're going to be able to stabilize, I think.
But how much time he spends here rebuilding this? Well, I guess it's almost rebuilt now. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
40 seconds. Factories rebuild pretty quick.
I feel like that's a lot. I mean, that's almost
I agree.
It's game so far.
It's a decent amount of time, but at the same time, it's not as long as sometimes people think. True. It's really easy to overestimate how much, especially when you consider that with the reclaim that you get from the factory corpse, and especially with you have the reclaim on top of having proper energy economy, on top of having enough build power to make that work. You can stabilize and get your army right back up within 2 minutes. So it's a window, but it's a small window. Yeah, but that's the thing. Is what I mean is that there is a window there, and it's an important window to bear in mind, because if you attack in that window, sure, it's a big deal. And if you're dealing with someone who's pushing a large army and you're kind of staying even, like that one game that was between that we saw earlier on, that was, I think, was it? Shoot, it was Fealthas and Yogzototh, I think. It was a grindy game that we saw. That was, in that case, if a factory had gone down or a few factories had gone down, that probably would have just meant there were no more reinforcements and would have stopped it. At this stage in the game, though, the armies aren't clashing that frequently. But I think it's manageable. And yeah, Clone's basically stabilized. Their economy's back up. Their military's just about back up.
Early warrior to help defend against any more Scorcher rushes. And if Yogzototh pursues that tactic, he's going to end up donating quite a bit of metal.
Yeah.
I mean, if Klon comes back from this, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah, now... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it looks like he's poised to do just that.
Yeah. Although, one thing to point out, Yogzototh may not have gotten much better in their economy, but they did gain territory. And that territory is going to convert into economy.
He's very much fortified the center. I would say that he has decisive control of that central crater. Well, Klon still definitely has these bottlenecks to work with, and of course the hills on the very edge of the map. Picking up a constructor here too, which is always nice.
That's going to help a lot. That'll keep the Western Front open for a couple minutes. Unfortunately, not focusing on the Lotuses.
So he's investing quite a bit of metal into these defenders in the center. Yogzototh is, I mean. So I don't feel like it's that critical of a position to take, and especially now with defenders, which are pretty easily dislodged in the late game.
Yeah, that's... I mean, does it even defend? It barely defends those metal extractors. They can sort of take them and get all the center mexes, but then... Yeah, it's opening up the side, especially since that constructor that would have fortified the Western Front isn't there, and there are no other constructors replacing it at the moment. Looks like Yogzototh's going to focus a bit more on the Eastern Front, leaving Klon... I mean, they're not close to the Western Front. They can't easily deal with it unless they build a second factory, but still.
Oh, here we go.
Nice.
The Scorchers in the center are heading down to that central area. They could poke over to the east if he knows what's going on, but I'm not sure that he does. Even just cleaning this up and denying Klon from getting there would be nice.
Yeah, that's still slowing Klon down. I feel like Klon should probably just go for a counterattack here. And I think they are. No, they're going for a counter defense. They're trying to make sure that Yogg can't flank. Oh, I didn't quite get that Conjurer away. That sucks.
Too bad.
Oh, no, wait, they're going to save it.
Oh, still might save it. Very good, very good.
Okay. Saved it. Didn't quite hide it, but they did. It worked. And hey, reclaim! So much build power, too, so that reclaim works.
So Klon is building 1 constructor, 5 glaives, and 1 warrior on repeat right now. I really like that because I feel like light vehicle has I wouldn't say weak skirmishers, but definitely not the traditional skirmishers that you would expect to counter warriors. So I think a riot heavy composition definitely works in Klon's favor here.
Well, unless Yogzototh decides to go for Wolverines, in which case the warriors are screwed.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. We're seeing mostly Scorcher Slasher so far.
Yeah, in that case, the warriors are okay. I mean, warrior glaive combined is good.
Well, I'd say it's the perfect counter composition.
I agree. Although I still think it's a little bit of a tricky one in terms of execution.
Definitely.
Mind you, fighting slashers is always a bit... Actually, slashers and scorchers are both kind of tricky with execution because of their movement or distance-specific mechanics.
True.
Respectively.
Good point.
Because you gotta move the slasher out of position to deal with it most efficiently. You gotta be away from the scorcher to deal with it most... Although, actually, that's retreat micro, so it's not that big of a deal. That's normal. But still, it can make it tricky for warriors. But at this point, Klon is still behind. And Yogzototh is securing that center.
That's a pretty significant economic lead that Yogzototh has. Looks like 15 metal per second at the moment. More than that now.
No, 25.
With the reclaim here, yeah.
It's not even with the reclaim. It's like 25 minus 30 is... Oh, holy crap. The reclaim goes up to 50. Sheesh. And I mean, Yogzototh's commander is a nano-lathe commander. And that's the thing, is 24 build power.
He's going to slurp this right up then.
Yeah.
Looks like he's morphing it to level 3 as well. I wonder if he has a resurrection module. Oh, he does already.
Yeah, that's
just going
usually
for
a
more
level 2
build
thing.
power.
Yeah, Lazarus device is usually done on level 2. Just makes it most useful.
So at the moment, it looks like his plan is just to mass slasher, which with this much of an economic lead is going to work out just fine.
Yeah, the Glaives are actually doing pretty... Okay, well, getting rid of the slashers as much as they can.
Sure.
Which is not that much. It's okay, I guess, but it's falling apart. Well done, Hero Glaives. But only so much you can do.
So Zeus is now to complement the warriors. Definitely eyeing down these slashers with those.
Ouch.
Probably hoping to poke into the center as well. I just don't really see Klon breaking out from this one.
Neither do I. It's unfortunate for Klon that they were in the losers bracket to begin with, because I think that if this was either best of 5 or just if they had another chance, if this had been game 1 and not game 2, I think they'd be able to come back from here. I think at this point they've gotten they've gotten an idea what Yogzototh does, but they didn't have that in the first game, because the first game they couldn't really see what happened, because the first game nothing really distinctive happened. It was just like a few mistakes here and there. It was a mistake on their part, so they couldn't really see what Yogzototh does and how they play. So if Klon can properly stabilize, I think they can come back from this.
He's trying to bust a move right now, heading into the center with that Zeus warrior ball. I'm not sure he'll be able to clear it out, and even if he does, I'm not sure that this is really the best use of his military.
Well, the left side is not particularly threatened, so at least that's not a huge problem. The Eraser on Yog's commander is a major problem, or the cloaking field on Yog's commander is a major problem. And probably one of the reasons they just rushed in like that.
Definitely.
And...
yeah, just a few more Zeuses here to clean up, and I would say that Yogg has pretty decisively won this game.
Yeah, although, I don't think if Klon had a few more Zeuses of their own, they probably would have been able to wipe that entire area out. But yeah, it's starting to fall apart, unfortunately for Klon. But then, they do have the western side. They have, basically that's open right now. So they just need to hold off, they just need to get a bunch of corpses. Basically, eat as much metal as they possibly can out of Yogg's forces without dying in the process.
An air switch for Phoenixes from
And
Klon.
finally, we see Phoenixes! My goodness, no one's been building these!
Happy to see him, but, well, they did do a pretty good job with those slashers.
It's like, everyone's building Wyverns. It's like, okay, Wyverns are okay, but they're single target bombers. They're supposed to kill one thing. And that's what they do. They don't splash very much. Their splash is terribly overrated in so many games. Like, so many matches I saw today. It took them like 4 or 5 swipes to make cost, just because they were hitting small units that trying to get the splash.
Well, they're really popular in the teams room, where they're probably more powerful as well.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot more people using big units. Like,
yeah,
it's
in
easier
general,
to get Strider class units.
Exactly. And I would say that's probably their best use case. It definitely doesn't translate into the 1v1 room.
It can. It's just you have to target things like commanders or Strider class units in the late game, or target factories if you have a couple of them. I mean, it's just... there are ways. Although I suppose the weakness of Phoenix is they do die. But there are ways. It's just knowing what they are is not easy. Like, it's tricky to know exactly what the ways are to use them, and it's 2,000 metal for a reason. They're kind of...
very true.
Like, once you're able to build them reliably, your opponent probably has units that you could target effectively. Man, those Phoenixes, they soften things up. They help. Soften the slashers up. I think that's probably going to make a big difference in this... that made the difference in this fight. Like, routing... wow. They just routed Yogzototh on the eastern front.
Excellent.
Those slashers got so softened up. I mean, what support did they have? The Ravagers, I was surprised, weren't hit, but still. No one's routed the eastern side. Center's getting damaged, but... those Ravagers are tanking the Lotuses too much. There needs to be a response to this. There are no... okay, there is the Glaives coming down. I was wondering when that would happen. And Yogzototh idling these 2 Ravagers, that's going to be a... that's a fatal mistake.
Just idling too much in general. Look at this military on the western side that could have come through and cleaned things up so quickly. I mean, here... Yogzototh is in a bit of danger here. There's quite a bit of reclaim for Klon to use, and it looks like he is using it now.
Yes, Klon is the one to use reclaim. They're actually a couple more constructions. They totally stabilize, or at least they stabilize their economy. They need to get their military back up. But still,
so I'm seeing Zeus Hammer out of Klon's factory. In fact, just Hammer at the moment with the Phoenixes. I mean, I guess I don't know. There's definitely a pork busting composition.
Yeah, but that's the problem. There's not the problem. The problem is these Ravagers and Slashers that have finally moved in. Decided idling isn't for them. Going for the counterattack. Are they trying to use Yogzototh's tactics against them? That's my only guess, because I don't think it's going to work, though. I think Yogzototh is confident they can just push through.
It seems almost like an act of desperation. You know, he feels the pressure coming from his west, and he has to do something, but it's too little too late, really. I mean, that factory snipe, I feel like, really did cripple him in the beginning.
I think it slowed him down. Like, the territory thing was a problem, but I don't know.
Well,
there were a
not
couple
just the
mistakes.
territory. I would say it was just the military difference there. I mean, not only that
wasn't that big. It was like there was about 300 metal military difference at the start. The main issue that happened, I think, was walking into the center and all the defenses. I think that was
that's certainly true.
Really where it fell apart.
That didn't help him at all. But I would say that the factory being down let Yogzototh expand without interference.
A little bit, but honestly, it wasn't. It was a lot smaller than it would have probably been if, well, we didn't have reclaim. And
still putting up a fight, no doubt.
Oh well, it's a tournament. It's a lot. Like if Klon loses this, they're out. If they win this, they have another chance, and they probably have Yogzototh's number. At least they think they do, and I think they probably do. So if they get out of this, at least they'll be able to have another chance and possibly game 3. And if they win that, then we're on to them actually being even. Like, Klon gives up. Well, 2-0. My prediction was way off. I think if Klon didn't screw up the solar in the first game, then it would have happened. I think the fact that they screwed up the solar in the first game meant that they couldn't understand Yogzototh's playstyle in the first game, and it meant that they had to basically... Like, the second game was a problem, because they didn't know how Yogg would do it in the first. Or from the first. They weren't able to download them.
Because he wasn't able to execute his own strategy well enough to sort of feel out Yogzototh in that first game, because he was wrestling with, such a mechanical issue as e-stalling.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
I think that lack of knowledge just meant that he didn't realize, oh hey, Yogzototh's super aggressive, I should be a bit more defensive, I should make sure my factories and get hit. Oh hey, Yogzototh is going to be trying to get all the territory, so I should try to just take advantage of naked expansion punishing. Stuff like that.
Yep.
And I think they kind of got the idea after game 2, but it was just after the point they lost a bunch of army. Which is unfortunate, so that is it. That is the tournament. I can't end off. That's unfortunate. That's the tournament. Oh well. Sorry. Congratulations, Yogzototh. That was really well done.
Great work. Yeah, definitely. Nothing to sneeze at. That was an excellent performance by Yogzototh. Klon, of course, is no slouch. So
yeah,
that was a hard-fought win.
I'm glad it wasn't the most lopsided tournament. I mean, if you look at Yogzototh, yeah, they won, but they got a game taken off of them in every round but the first and this one.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Good.
They did really well, but at the same time, so did their opponents. It was nice, even matchups. There wasn't too many. There are 2-0s, but, I mean, that tournament, the team tournament last month or 3 weeks ago, that was so many 2-0s, just everywhere. Like, I don't think I had any 3-round games that I casted.
Oh.
Yeah. It was that lopsided. This has been much more even. I mean, like I mentioned before, it was like there are 4 players that I thought were relatively even, and they actually did get 1 through 4. There were the players I expected to get the top 4 places, and they did. But Forever, that was a bit of a surprise. And Yurga, well, not so much a surprise, but still did quite well. And you did really well.
Thank you.
I didn't know how well you do, but you did really well. So yeah, like everyone seemed to do quite well overall.
Yeah. It was a fun tournament. I would say the games were really exciting. Just a good vibe in general.
All right, so that is it for us tonight. And that will be, yeah, so it's going to be, that's the tournament. Yogzototh wins. Congratulations, Yogzototh.
Excellent work, Yogzototh.
And that... So, yeah, I'd say that was a pretty interesting tournament as far as We saw a lot of typical factories, not a lot of jump on, not a lot of spiders, a lot more of the older bread and butter factories.
Yeah,
Very light vehicle focused.
Yeah, it was nice to see a change. I feel like people played the more conservative factories because they're sort of out of the 1v1 element on these larger maps in general. And so it makes more sense to play something a little bit more familiar, I guess.
Yeah, whereas with the... the matches being so even, that was actually kind of nice. I probably should have tried to see Forever's matches more, though, because it seemed like they did some really interesting things. I only saw, like, 2 of them. The Fealthas Forever and Forever Klon. And...
Well, I know that the games that he won against me was certainly some interesting play, and it seems like he did reasonably well at the start of the tournament anyway. So yeah, I would say that you should try to catch more games from Forever.
Yeah, so it's good to know. So Forever, definitely worth looking at, and... yeah,
all right.
At least Honu is worth looking at. So yeah, that was that. So next week will be, of course, the Clan Wars thing, since I like that idea, and so I'm probably going to try casting those.
Such a big fan. So excited. I hope this really takes off. But yeah, I guess we better wrap it up. This is starting to peter out. It was a really good tournament, guys. So really enjoyed it.
Thank you, all of you, for watching, and hope you enjoyed that. I'll have the videos up probably sometime Sunday. That's my general promise. I'm not promising today. Sunday, I'll more likely have them up. And so yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I don't know if you want to say anything, Kane.
Anything, Kane.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
And thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.